Okay, let's try this again. Yesterday I came out, first day with a mic, and had some technical difficulties. The mic was actually working great for once, which I've always had trouble with mics. I don't know why. Nothing works. Now, this new DJI mic pairs perfectly, and I think the sound will finally be where, if I say anything, not that I have anything worth saying, you might be able to actually hear me for once, but anyway. I adjusted the camera settings, and of course, it was all sorts of jacked up, so got the audio figured out, and then the camera's messed up. So let's see if today's any better. Everything yesterday was like, I think maybe something to do with exposure. It was all whited out. Anyway, this is my playground. One of those hidden gems I found on a Onyx map, and then went to look, and of course I'm not the only one that's found this, you know, and pretty much every neighborhood there's some undeveloped area, usually, you know, in my area it's undeveloped because it's in a floodplain, or they're using it as part of flood control, and so they don't build houses there. So, in those cases, as long as it's not marked, like no trespassing or anything like that, and it's not gated or fenced, you can go and explore. So, around my area, you know, I live in a town of about 100,000 people outside of Houston, and they just keep building and building and building. So you want to find a place to ride, you got to look at a map and try to find, you know, these pockets of woods, and then go and explore. It's not clear. You can't just look at a satellite and show up. So I have probably 20 of these places, and what I do is I find them and I respectfully use them. You can see, like, I'm having fun here, but I'm going to show you real quick this drop off. So you can see I'm right on the edge. Like, this is part of my training area, and it's some parts of it are technical, and that drops 10-12 foot into water that would submerge the motorcycle. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Like, I keep the revs down. You can see there's houses around me, so and I don't tear the property up. I just quietly use it for practicing and enjoying God's creation and getting some exercise. Just nice to be in the woods and in the dirt. So that's what I do. Now, I do have traction control off because I finally figured out how to do it. Seems like it would be easy. You push the traction control button, but no. On this particular year, or with this particular setup, the traction control is, you hold it for 7 seconds off, 7 seconds on, exactly. Any more, any less, it doesn't work. So anyway, I still haven't figured out ABS. I currently have ABS off, and from the initial start, I hold this little ABS button here on this tower, and if I hold it for 6 seconds, then it turns off. But can't get it to turn back on, so I'm not sure. Which, off-road, I don't mind ABS off, but when I'm on the road, I wouldn't mind having ABS. So anyway, I've done a few laps here, so you get an idea. I've hit this area many times on my videos because this is kind of my training. Call it a proving ground. It does everything. I'll show you the last loop here. There's a little bit of a hill climb up ahead into, and on camera, just like the drop on camera doesn't look very high. But on camera, this little climb up here is it's pretty steep, and it's embedded with big, heavy roots and sharp edges. Now, again, from the base, it's not going to look like much, but you know, these roots, little step-ups and G-outs, whatever you want to call them, they range from 8 to 12, maybe more inches. I've not actually measured them, I'm just telling you from eyesight here. So I'll do a quick turn here, get the bike headed in the right direction, and I'll come to a stop. You can kind of see there's definitely an incline. Doesn't look like much on camera, but it actually is, and those roots are all different angles, different heights. So it's a good place to check suspension. I think I have this thing dialed in now. So that's pretty much all I do back in here, is play around a little without creating too much noise. The last thing you want to do is disturb the peace and have someone run you off. Like I said, this is one part of a HOA community that owns this, that I actually pay taxes to. So you know, if they tell me, if there's nothing saying don't use this area, then I'm going to use it. I'm technically part owner if I pay taxes, and I kind of feel the same way about some of these other areas that are owned by the state or by the county or by a city. And you can get access to them, assuming you don't create access. I mean, there's access created. No gates, no fences, no posted signs, no unauthorized visitors, none of that, no private property. So, but I spend a fair amount of time, just because I am in a very populated area, I spend a lot of time trying to find these little gems. And you can do it on OnX pretty easy. I might even do a video on how I find these places that way. Because it's, once you have a handful of these and you can connect them with pavement, even though you live in a very popular or populated area, you can go out and have a little adventure each time. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm gonna go on to another place and explore a little bit.